Let's go through an email sequence that I had with the client. This is post audit report delivery. The client writes, "Hi, Chris. Thank you for sending this. Quick question. Once we make changes, how often do you rescan? I'm sure you told me this, but I can't find it." So a scan is only a very, very small part of our evaluation, right? When we're scanning, we're just trying to make sure that any issues that are correctly flagged by a scan are included in our audit report. We're not relying upon the scan, we're not copying and pasting those results. So it's a very, very important distinction. And so as I write back in the second email, this is what I let the client know. I wrote back, "Hi, you're very welcome. Once you let us know the fixes are complete, we will validate the issues manually within a few days. Validation is like a second audit, but just focused on the issues identified in the report. You have 2 hours of technical support, so that's what we'll use this time for. We use an automated scan as a review of our manual evaluation during our initial audit, but that's to the extent to which we use a scan. Let me know if we can provide any details on this or if you'd like to discuss further on a call." And the client writes back, "Okay, so we only get one rescan." And I think at this point, it's so important. This is what I was trying to get across in the second audit, is that we are actually evaluating the in this case the website manually, and so the focus shouldn't be on a scan. And maybe this client is just using the word scan and audit interchangeably, but that is why I I on purpose I wrote that we are manually using we're manually evaluating, just to get the point across that it's not a scan, so that every time I bring the client back to what he's paying us for, because he's not paying us hundreds. In this case, I think it was over $1,000 just to scan his website. So a scan is free to use. You can go scan your website right now. That's just not what we provide. We provide the actual professional services that you need to conclusively know all of the accessibility issues on your digital asset. So here's where the email thread leaves off. And then I write, "Yes, but once we've completed validation and I left off this time, for this time, would you like to set up a quarterly or biannual audit for the core layouts templates? We'll use a scan during the audit, but we also incorporate screen reader testing, keyboard testing, and more. If you're interested in this service, let me know, and I can create a new proposal for this once we complete validation." So the reason I wrote this is because I think what the client was getting at was they wanted an ongoing evaluation. I think that's what he was getting at with the "how often will you rescan?" So here I'm offering him what he was looking for, not a scan, but everything. And so this, I think, may be something the client is interested, but I wasn't sure. But I did want to make sure that he knew in this last part that we're doing much, much more than scanning. And so that's very important for everyone to know, is that you're looking for more than a scan. And this client, they may have been using the words audit and scan interchangeably, but I'm always very sure to emphasize the manual component of this, because this is why what we do is so valuable, is because we are actually looking. We're not relying upon an automated rule set. We are actually evaluating. We are actually testing with the screen reader and testing with the keyboard. So that's a very, very important difference. And that's where all the value comes in. Now, there are a lot of companies that want to emphasize the scan and really overplay what the scan does. A scan is helpful, but it's very limited, and it's really more for practitioners than it is for the consumer, because the consumer is concerned with full conformance with the web content accessibility guidelines, and using a scan and having scan results will get you nowhere close to that. And so ultimately, you'll come right back to the audit, and so that's what you need. So there's an enormous difference between a scan and an audit, and that is what clients are paying us for, is to actually audit their digital assets. So that's what we're doing. If you are interested in an audit for your digital asset, I will include a link to accessible.org in the description.